This episode is brought to you by Trailer Park Yard Games, where over 28 games are delivered directly to your party. We park the trailer, you party.
Is that like?
I was just seeing if Tom was crying.
Well, can I tell you something? I got really mad at her. I was, oh my God, is this a vent session?
Yeah,
what's gonna happen?
Bring it on.
It's my fault. Bros
no,
before hoes.
Well, wait, are we allowed to talk like that?
That's true.
Okay.
And you were nothing but great to your hoe. And you told her that she was the only hoe for you. And that she was better than all the other hoes in the world. And then suddenly she's not your hoe no mo.
Yeah, I ain't a hoe no mo.
Oh, there you go. So, because we lived together pretty much all our lives and all that stuff. We did we have identical jobs.
Let's have a chat, talk this and that with PB and Jaisy.
Hey. Welcome to the PB and Jaisy podcast. My name is Jaisy George. I'm to my left, I have
Sarah Padgett. I'm the P in the PB and Jaisy sandwich.
And I'm the B, Bill Stedham.
You the best B.
Yeah,
the best B.
Yeah, he's the best B in town. So today we have a really fun guest.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
This might crash and burn.
Yeah.
Who knows?
We'll see.
We'll play it by ear, but we are joined by someone that kind of looks like my husband, but not really.
Kind of sounds like him.
They're supposed to be twins, but we'll get into that. We'll see. But we're joined by Anthony. Thanks for being here.
Hey,
Thanks for being here, Anthony.
Tony.
Hey, what's going on, guys? This is this is so random.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
She goes, hey, you're going to be on this podcast. I'm like, what? Okay, let's do it.
I voluntold him to be here.
When did you learn?
Literally, I think last week.
Yeah.
And she said it in a text that was just like, hey, we're going to do this. And on Saturday, you're going to be in a podcast. I was like, all right. So I'm in a season right now in my life where everything is a yes. So if you ask me, I'm going to say yes.
That's
so
how
it
I
is
got
what it
this
is.
tattoo.
Where?
This one. Somebody sat down and said, let's go get a tattoo. And I didn't have one. I said, okay. Because I had waited my whole life, never rode a roller coaster. Someone finally convinced me and I loved it. And I was like 35. It's like, so my whole life, I've never ridden a roller coaster. What else am I missing out on? So I just started saying yes to stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which roller
yes.
coaster? The roller coaster down here
No,
somewhere?
we were in Orlando. It was
really?
the Hulk, which is now something else.
No, it's still the Hulk.
Is it?
I have annual passes to Universal.
Is that at Universal? Okay.
Yeah, it was amazing. Which we made the mistake of doing Universal first and then Disney the second day. And I'm like, no, I need more coasters.
Disney has a lot of coasters too now.
We did the.
I never heard roller coasters being called coasters.
Was it Aerosmith?
Oh yeah, the Rockin' Roller Coaster.
We did that
That
one.
one's good.
Yeah.
And then in IOA they got some new ones as well. The Hagrid, the Harry Potter.
Wait, what's IOA?
Oh, I'm sorry. You guys are not Floridians, right? So
No.
IOA,
You're in our
Islands
town.
of Adventure.
Oh.
Islands of
I just acted like I knew. I was like, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Well, that's a great segue for Tony is from Orlando.
Orlando.
Yeah, so tell us a
O-Town,
little
baby.
about your background. You're not born there, right?
I wasn't born there. I was born in India, much like my twin brother Tom.
You mean you're from India?
I know. You know what's funny? Somebody said the other day, oh, with this goatee and this ponytail, you look more Indian. I'm like, dude, what type of Indians have goatees and ponytails? But I just went with it. So I was like, all right, cool. But I was born in India and then came here when we were 4. And then we lived out in Florida pretty much all our lives. And then we moved to Nashville for a season and then came back. So then I'm back in Orlando. I almost moved to Dallas with this guy, but I changed my mind at the last minute. I actually was baiting him. I told him, yeah, I'm going to move out to Dallas with you. I'm going to move out to Dallas. And then I just changed my mind literally 1 week before we came out here.
Is this not crazy to be separated from your twin for that long? Like, was that hard at first?
Well, Tony.
Wait,
Yeah, we're not asking Tom. We're asking you.
Oh,
What
yeah.
was that like?
I was just seeing if Tom was crying.
Well, can I tell you something? I got really mad at her. I was. Oh my
never
God!
knew
Is
this.
this
I didn't know
a
you-
vent session?
Yeah,
what's
it is.
gonna happen?
Bring it on.
It's my fault. Bros before hoes.
Well, wait, are we allowed to talk like
true.
that?
That's true.
Okay.
Yeah. I ain't a hoe no mo.
Oh, there you go. So because we lived together pretty much all our lives and all that stuff. We did we have identical jobs. We used to have identical cars, but then I just stepped it up. I went from my Prius to a Lexus. Let's go, right?
Nice.
But we had everything was identical and all that, and all of a sudden when she came into the picture, I mean, like we both had girlfriends and all that.
She's
type
the
of
Yoko Ono.
Yeah. Well, you didn't have me. You didn't have someone like me.
Yeah, well,
Something of his own.
Well, we both had girlfriends and all that, but then she took Tom away. And I remember when he told me, hey, dude, I'm going to get married. You know, usually the siblings are like, yeah, that's awesome. I was like, oh, cool. And I was really like, it was weird. It was really weird because it's like, you know, you have this identity in this person that you kind of like grew up with and was raised with. And then all of a sudden that person left. So then when we were in Nashville, literally, I was going to move out to Dallas with him too because he was going to move out for this girl. This chick over here.
This idiot over here.
I know. And then so he was moving out here and he's like, hey, Tone, come with me. And I was like, all right, well, you know, we've done everything together, right? So I was going to come out to Dallas and then something told me, and it was like 31 because we got married late in life. Well, oh my gosh, am I going to do it? I'm going to do it. I was married. I was married. So I didn't, well, she was, well, how? Okay. I was actually thinking about, I was like, how much should I say about my life?
Well, hold on. Before I say a joke.
Sure.
She's still living. You just got divorced.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't want to be like, bye. And she's like, actually, she passed away.
Yeah.
Tragic thing.
So anyway, but he came out here for her, and then I was going to come, but then just something told me it's like, okay, dude, you got to split up your life now. You got to do something different. So I came back to Florida. So, but I'm glad that I made the decision. I love Florida. Dallas is cool, but not like Florida.
So by the time this airs, it'll be a little bit older, but we just all witnessed from, you know, television, all the storms and stuff. Were you guys anywhere near any of that?
So the cool part about Orlando, it's like central to the state. So because it's central to the state, by the time like a storm hits us, then it starts like, it cools off a little bit.
You get like tropical.
Yeah. Because hurricanes need to be over water to be strong. So by the time it hits us, it's usually like it starts off as a hurricane if it's really bad, and then by the time it hits Orlando, it's like a tropical storm. So it's just like, you know, blows stuff around. So it was not bad at all. But there was like, I stayed at my mom and dad's house. And
you were scared, or?
Well, no, I told them because, you know, I'm living alone now, right? So I was like, hey, Mom, Dad, I was like, hey, you know what? If this hurricane really hits us hard, might as well. I don't want to die alone, so I'll die with you guys, right? And the funny thing is, my mom took that as such an awe moment. She's like, you're right. That's a good idea. We can die together.
I have a question.
Yeah, sure.
Blowing things around. Did your smoker make it?
Smoker?
He doesn't have a smoker.
I don't have a smoker.
You guys are twins and you don't smoke meat?
No,
Well,
they're very different.
Well, we're different, but, you know, I don't have I stay in an apartment. So you can't have an apartment. You can't have a smoke.
You just set it up in your living room. The landlord won't
God.
mind.
So what's
It's
happening
totally
though?
safe.
Tom is being Texified. That's what's happening.
Yeah.
We are slowly but surely.
Oh, yeah, he loves it out here
Like,
now.
well,
he knew
does he have a cowboy hat yet? Because we haven't seen him with it.
Oh, we need
I
to get
don't-
you one. But he spends so much time on his hair. Then you got to cover the
Maybe
hair.
he can make one like that cut out the top and just have
That'd be
this
perfect.
way.
So you can see it.
But I am proud of Tom because we had a conversation about a gun earlier. He asked me about my truck. We were talking about pigs.
He's got a shotgun. He's for sure a Texan.
I
He has
like
a
it.
shotgun?
Yeah.
What's he do with the shotgun?
Never used
Use it for self-defense.
He's
never even
going
seen
to
a bullet
protect
out
his
of it.
kids.
He makes it go.
Oh, yeah.
That's all you got to do.
I remember when he got it, he's like, hey, I got this shotgun. And we both took turns doing it. It was pretty exciting. I don't know why. Like, I felt very manly.
powerful. Oh, yeah.
I felt very manly. I was like, I can end a life with this.
Yes.
It was pretty
Or I can
intense.
lean it up against the corner.
Yeah.
And not do anything with it. And then just really rely on the fact that hopefully if someone ever breaks in, all I have to do is just make the sound and then they'll be like, oh shoot, this guy's got a shotgun, let me leave.
Okay, and so I've been told. So I know Tom's musical. You're musical as well.
Yes.
So were y'all musical together? Did y'all have like
Yes.
a twin band?
So
A twin band.
A twin band.
Yes.
Yeah. Before the Hansons.
Yes.
Yeah.
We had the Georges. So yeah, Ashley, you know, I picked up an instrument later in life because Ashley, we got assigned musical instruments when we were little kids, right? So my dad comes, we were super young, probably like 10 years old. My dad comes in and he had this like ingenious idea, like most fathers have, right? So he comes in and he looks at us three boys because we're three. We're no sisters, nothing like that. He goes, okay, Tom, you're going, and he's assigning the instruments. And I have to use the accents. I'm so
I
sorry.
love it.
No,
Okay, is
this
it okay?
is great.
It's
This is
accurate.
great.
You
Love
feel
it.
like you're actually there.
Well, that's literally how they talk,
We
right?
make Jaisy do it all the time.
Okay.
Like, talk like your dad.
Yeah.
That's not what happened. We had three
fact check.
options. Tony was in the back.
I got screwed.
He got third pick.
I got screwed. So it's like the three options were drums, guitar, and piano, right?
Everybody wanted drums, right?
Well, Okay, everybody wants to either be the drummer or the guitar player. No one's like, oh my gosh, let me play this sexy instrument. Let me play the piano, right? Especially this is like the 90s, like the late 90s, like grunge and rock and roll, Nirvana and all that. So it's like, dude, I don't remember Kurt Cobain doing this, This is not cool. So I was in the shower and my dad comes home and gives them the option. Tom pits drums. So Tom pits drums. My older brother pits the guitar, and then I'm in the shower trying to rub-a-dub-dub and get, clean. I come out,
and then he goes,
manscaping
again.
Yeah, I know, right? Started out of
He lies. He was in there pooping.
Maybe. But anyway, so my dad comes out. He said, "Okay, Tom, you are going to do D instrument. What was it? D. How do you say it? He
drums.
Drums. No, but he actually said the acronym. He said D instrument. Then my older brother, Stan, you're going to play the guitar. And then for you, you're going to play P lessons. And I was like, oh my gosh, man, this is so bad. So I remember I did 5 years of piano lessons. And finally, the piano instructor comes up to my dad and says, hey, Mr. Sam George, you are wasting your money sending your son to piano lessons because I never practiced because I thought it was so lame, right? But then later in life, he started playing drums, and then I was like, dude, I always wanted to play guitar. Like guitar, that's like the guitar players get all the girls, right? That's how I thought
That's what
of
happened
it.
to me.
You got a guitar player?
I did, yeah.
There you go. See,
It's always into drummers. Got the
I
drummer.
just never
There
was.
you go.
I never was really into pianist.
Yeah. Well,
You're into pianos, but not pianist.
Hey, okay. But I feel like piano's now in.
Well, I really feel like that's a good bass instrument, and that's a really good way
Good
to
starter.
learn music in general.
Gateway
Oh,
drug.
100%. Like the best, like I'm a bass player, right? I'm a bass guitar player. And I know everyone's looking like they'd be disrespecting the bass players, but you know what? We're the foundation.
You're the
We're the foundation. So I started playing later in life around like 19 years old, but I've been playing pretty consistently. And I'm the only one that still plays. He doesn't play anymore. His drums are packed up in a corner. It's so sad.
I didn't do nothing.
Jaisy took him.
Well, Yoko Ono, right? That's what you said.
Can I go on the record and say we built an entire external structure outside of our home specifically for this man to play drums?
No, it's for
we got special like insulation stuff that was like, oh yeah, I can play the drums. I can murder somebody in here and nobody can hear. And I was like, perfect.
I can put my shotgun in there.
Yeah. And all of this stuff happened. We spent a lot of money on this thing. And literally maybe a month into having it, he was just like, I think I'm just going to take down my drums. I don't really play it. And I really like this whole like videography, like whole like producing thing. So I kind of just want to make way for that. So I just want to go on the record and say, I totally wanted the drum thing to happen. I think it's sexy. I like it. Just
Oh, you heard that here, Tom.
Tom, this could be number 3, man.
Yeah.
Well,
No,
not really.
remember, you
Scientifically. Scientifically.
Bill, did you ever play any instruments?
Absolutely not.
I say I'm not very musical either. I took mandolin lessons for like a minute, and I learned "You Are My Sunshine," and then I bring the instrument home. My husband's very musical, and he's like, playing it behind his back. He's like, never touched it in his life, and he's, I'm like, forget it.
I learned that if I could get money by singing. Mom
By
and Dad
getting
would,
people to stop you.
Mom and Dad would give me
pay
money
you
to
to stop.
shut up.
You do like to whistle. That's musical.
Oh, yeah.
He does. He walks through the office whistling Christmas tunes all year long.
Oh,
That's
nice.
great. That's great.
It is. It gets everybody's attention.
So Tony, tell us about, okay, so you guys were in the band for 10 years.
Sure.
Okay, and then moved to Nashville to pursue music. And then what happened there?
We failed.
What genre?
Just
What genre are we
It was
talking about?
like alternative rock, kind of like pop music.
Y'all
things
want
like
to do
that.
something real quick?
So we're not singers. We were the
Benji's the
instrument.
singer.
Yeah. Our third bandmate, he was like, he is actually a phenomenal singer.
Okay.
And he still is in Nashville. He still produces. He's been on a lot of records now. He's still trying to do his own thing. He has a secondary job as well, but he's very musical. So we went out there. We did the music thing. It was, it's like every kid wants to be a rock star, right? So I had like these dreams of grandeur. And even now, when I close my eyes, I still see myself on stage.
That's awesome.
But now what we do is, so Tom and I are super different in the sense of like, we're both very extroverted, right? But we manifested differently. Like he does this whole podcast thing and he's really good at speaking one-on-one with people. What I love to do is I love to MC things. So I MC weddings professionally on the side as well.
Awesome.
And I love a stage and I love a microphone and I love
We couldn't tell in the first 13 minutes of our... I'm just kidding.
Really? Well, I feel like
No,
this
I like it. I
This
like
is
it.
actually harder for me.
Really?
It doesn't look like it. You're doing good.
Really? So this is harder for me. What I like is getting a microphone by myself and then like.
So you don't want us here. You want us to leave.
Yeah, can you
you need
guys
to leave.
Well, if we were in the audience, he'd be pulling out reactions from us.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what I do. So I like. It's just so cool. So I still get to experience that, but it's just a different way. But anyway, so we were in Nashville. We left Nashville. We came back to Florida. We did a career switch. I know one of the things that we're supposed to talk about is the whole pivoting thing.
Yeah.
Or you can talk about whatever.
Pivot.
This can go whichever way.
Pivot. Who likes Friends?
Not me.
I watched it the first time it aired.
Yeah.
My husband watches it every night when he goes to bed. So
I was not a fan of Friends.
see, he didn't either. When it first came out, he was like, "I thought it was a girly show. I never watched it." And now, like, that's what when he goes to sleep every night, he watches it.
What's his favorite character?
He likes Ross.
I love Ross.
He does like Ross.
He's so neurotic. And I thought back when it first came out, I was like, okay, Ross is like a terrible character. He's like a geek. He's like, he's a professor and all that. But then now when I'm watching it, he's the most hilarious person.
And I don't know if that's his absolute favorite, but I know all three guys. I think he kind of relates
Resonates
to.
with,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I think that's why the show's so good. You can find a character and you're like,
So-
oh, that's me.
I literally used the Joey pickup line via text yesterday.
Did it work?
Did it work?
How you doing?
Well, so this girl reached out to me, and then it's like I was like, "Ooh, she's reaching out to me, right?" So you know how you
What does
just
this
know.
mean?
Well, I know what it means.
If you're listening, and not watching, his cheeks just got a little bit pink.
Really?
Did it? Is that
and
possible?
I'm brown, so that's a big deal.
Just a little.
I'm not going to mention any names, but I remember she texted me, and I did the "How you doing?" parentheses Joey voice.
Oh, and it worked.
She knew.
She knew.
No, I'm just-
She probably said it out
If
loud.
she didn't know, she knows now.
So no, but I love that show, but back to pivoting.
Sorry.
Okay, I was like, how do we get to Friends?
Yeah.
Pivot.
So after you guys were in Nashville, you tried the music thing, crashed and burned. Y'all broke what was supposed to be built, all of that.
Yeah.
The owner broke up the band.
Yeah. So their band was actually called Built,
Built
to Be Broken. And they
so
broke apart.
We kind of manifested that.
So then Tom met some random girl, whatever. He got married and came to Texas.
Yeah.
You went to Orlando.
Yeah.
And then what happened?
So honestly, I give a big shout out to Tom. Tom kind of changed our lives too in Nashville. So we were doing we were trying to be musicians, but we weren't really working, So then we're like, man, what the hell are we gonna do with the rest of our lives? Like we're like 31 years old. And
Tom told me he was scared because he was like, man, I gotta go and be married and I have to have a
You gotta have
family
a
and stuff like
job.
that. Like, how am I gonna support this girl?
Yeah.
If I don't have means for income.
Oh, 100%. But we always talk about Nashville like it was the best season of our lives because it's when we realized like, hey, you know what? If you don't do something, you're going to be broke on the side of the road with no money, right? So it was like having a season of like when you felt out of control really put things into perspective. And I really believe, and so I do a lot of like career coaching now too. A lot of people, a lot of specialists that kind of look up to me as a mentor. And I always tell them it's like these seasons that you're in struggle, that's when you rise above, right? So it's actually good that you're going through seasons of struggle because when you don't go through those seasons and everything is given to you, you have no sense to work harder.
Well, it's like building a muscle. You have to break it.
Yeah. So in like Nashville, there was moments where we literally looked at each other and were like, oh my gosh, if we don't do something, we're going to be poor. Like it was like ridiculous. So he met, we were Uber driving just to make it. And then he met these IT sales guys. Recruiters.
And it was a lady.
It was a lady? Oh, see, I didn't know. I thought they were, in my mind,
Don't
when I
assume.
tell the story.
Don't assume.
I know, right? I'm so
kidding.
messed up. So when I tell the story, it was 3 guys. Was it 3 guys?
It was just one.
It was one lady? Oh, man. Okay, I didn't know this.
He's been lying to everyone.
So I told the story millions of times because I feel like it's really inspirational. So anyway, so he meets this lady. Thank you. Whoever you are, you changed our lives. And so he comes home and he's like, hey, he goes, Tony, I met this lady or I met this person. I know what to do with the rest of our lives. So then she gave him a plan of what to do. So all we did was we Uber drove in the night and we studied all day and we got these 3 IT certifications that should have taken us years, but we got it in 3 months, back to back to back. And the crazy part is we were not really tech savvy. Like this guy right now is doing all the technology for you guys. We were not tech savvy at all. We were musical.
So you show up first place and you're like, they said, "What? Go fix a computer," and you're like, "What's a computer?"
Exactly. It was so bad. And I know what you're thinking. It's like, but you're Indian. Isn't that like in the
Well,
blood?
when you said it took us 3 months, I'm like, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
Well, okay. Well,
What took white people like 6 years? It only took us 3 months.
Well, I always think about that because like a lot of people give excuses like, well, that's going to take me a long time. No, if you actually apply yourself, you
Just
can push
do it.
yourself.
I think that's a
Yeah.
great point. If you put your mind to anything,
Yeah.
you can get it done, but
Yeah.
you got to put your
Focus.
mind to it.
Exactly. So we got these 3 certifications and we came back and then he started an IT job and then I started an IT job and we started from the bottom. Like literally, you know, those help desk positions when your computer's not turning on, you know, and you call them.
Oh, I have a great tale from the lockbox today.
for that one?
on
On
help
that.
desk.
Oh yeah. So it's a tough job, right? But we started from the bottom. Literally, I was making $15.50 an hour, but it was like late in life, right? I was like 31 years old and I restarted. But I didn't look at it as a restart. I looked at it as an opportunity. Boys and girls, look at it as an opportunity. So that's what I looked at it. I looked at it like, okay, I'm not starting from the bottom. I'm only making $15.50. I didn't think that way. I was like, man, I can't wait to see what happens next.
Right.
I can't wait to see what happens next. And I was just so positive, and I'm very like, so I'm like my brother in the sense of we're very social and extroverted, but we love people. So all I was doing was networking, and then door after door after door opens up. So I work for Advent Health. I don't know if you guys know this, but Advent Health is the 3rd largest healthcare institution in the United States, and we actually have a partnership with Texas Health Resources.
Oh, okay.
So the Mansfield Hospital, do you guys know that Mansfield?
The one right
Health?
across the street.
No, the new one.
No, the new one.
Oh, the man's. Oh, yes.
Yeah, so we own that 50%. So
awesome.
so we have an office there and all that type of stuff. But just like so, what I do is like even when I meet new specialists, I always say the same thing. It's like work hard. And then the right doors will open for you. So basically, starting from the bottom, moved all the way up, and now like I'm the manager of project management for consumer experience for 6 of our regions all around the United States.
That's awesome.
And literally, it started from a person recommending
From 3 men that turned into 1 lady.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then turn one woman.
Well,
You know what, did
That's
we-
society now. A man can turn into a lady, and it did right on this show.
Exactly.
But hey, I
Three
do want to
became
point
one.
out it took 3 men to make 1 good woman.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh,
that was a good
That's
one.
true.
I'm still confused. What does that mean?
3. You were
took
saying that
3.
3 men did it, but it was actually one woman. So
got
it
it,
took
got it.
3 men.
It's not
equal
funny if I have to
one woman.
explain it, Tony.
I'm so
Come
sorry.
on.
You know what it is? I always say this: women are so much smarter than
That
men.
is true.
Women are so much. I literally said that yesterday. I think it all the time. You guys,
You should text that to your lady friend.
Yeah.
You're
You know
so
what?
much smarter than me.
Well, you got to stay toxic. You can't. Especially now, dating in 2022.
Do they select the
I would
bad
never
boy?
want to be
You
there.
can't be forward. You can't just put it all on the table because I'm very vulnerable, right? I'm very like I talk and I share my feelings and all that, but you can't. You got to hold back. So sometimes, like if a girl texts me, I'll wait a day to text her back. Stay toxic, kings.
wow.
You know, you got to do that type of stuff because it's like there's too many options out there.
So how long were you married, first of all, if you don't mind answering?
Yeah, I was married for 4 years.
4 years.
Yeah.
And so how long have you been unmarried?
So about
A year and a half?
a year and a half.
Oh, so
now.
this is all kind of new still a little
Yeah,
bit. Okay.
yeah.
He's still broken.
So I've got you beat, so you don't have to worry about that.
Oh yeah?
He's
Yeah.
on his 3rd
Who
wife.
would ever let you go?
Well,
You seem
Two-
like a
two
very
people.
charming person.
2 people, maybe a
Okay.
3rd. Who knows?
He actually let them go because they weren't cooking him enough
Yeah.
food.
yeah, I'm a grown boy. So I married a Mennonite Amish woman who feeds me well.
Oh
She
wow.
is
And she's the one that
amazing
stayed.
cook.
So is this
She's the one that
number
stayed.
2?
Nope.
Number
Number
3.
3.
Number 3.
Third
I
time's
feel
a
like
charm.
I don't know. So here's the thing. I would get married again, but I don't know if I would want to get legally married.
Oh, I love it. 25 years now. In fact, we're leaving on a trip to Barcelona in a couple weeks to celebrate our 25th.
You find the right one, you'll do whatever she wants.
No, but
you
I'm
to do.
saying like, okay, I want to get married in a church, but why does it have to be legal? Is that weird?
Well,
What do you mean? Like,
by legal?
Is
What
it
do you-
because it's
Meaning,
because
like,
the
You're gonna
legal- is it
kidnap the
because
woman and bring her
is
there?
it because just in case like you were traumatized by the whole like divorce process that it's like why can't we
Yeah.
be together but not like be?
Because
Don't,
okay,
don't lead with that one. Okay.
well, can I ask you a question? Marriage is an institution under God. Why does the government got to get involved?
They're on everything.
Right? So that's why I'm like, okay.
Taxes.
Would this work if I go to, okay, I really love you and I want to marry you, but only in a church? Is that okay? Is that a good leader?
But what about if you have kids? Like, then what happens with that?
She can change her name, or I can. No, I'm not going to change my name.
What? Kids has nothing to do with changing the name. Like,
What are you talking about? But you're
when you have
legally,
kids.
but the kids are still.
Oh,
you don't need to-
Tony. My wife's last name isn't the same as mine. And
She
get
refused.
this, our daughter's last name is not the same as my wife's or mine.
Did she get to pick?
I want my
Pick a
last
name,
name.
any name.
I want my
Today,
last
I will
name to
be-
be something random. I always like the name.
I get what you're saying about, when people say it's just a piece of paper, but at the same time, like, you gotta have some skin in the game, like it's gotta be a step above, like, we're just like hanging out and stuff.
But still, if you get married in the church, I mean, it's still under God.
Well, if you
I don't
get
know.
married in
Maybe
the
I'm gonna
field,
stay
it's
single
under
for a
God.
while.
But
with
there,
these
you're
types of
saying like
thoughts.
before the government was involved
Sure.
in marriage, it was just a preacher, right? There wasn't.
Yeah,
even-
that's what I'm saying.
But they still recorded. They still recorded that you were married, right?
I just feel like marriage is not advantageous to men.
Well, we were gonna put a shout out. We were gonna.
Is that a separate topic? That's a
We
separate
were
topic.
gonna.
different thing.
I was going to like advertise for you, Tony, and say
Until
like,
you said
"Hey,
that.
Tony's single," but I don't know. You're kind of not.
Well, you know what it
helping me
is.
here.
See that, but it goes to show you I'm not ready.
Yes.
There's a lot of stuff I have to process through.
the right
But I
woman
think
will make you ready.
understanding that you're not in the place
Oh,
of
100%.
I'm not ready. I will be ready. But I mean, in the meantime, you've done a lot of great stuff for yourself to
Yeah.
like financially and career wise get
Yeah,
into
yeah.
a place that
We're
is
going to
stable.
ask ladies to apply.
Yes.
Apply online.
Apply online.
We'll have a Google Doc.
We'll send you their information.
There you
have
go.
We'll become a dating site for
Yes.
Tony.
There
We'll
you
have
go.
a
I'll
Google.
take it.
We'll have a
Any
Google
standards.
questions down below. That's like, do you believe in marriage? Yes. Okay. Sorry.
Well,
we
if-
can't.
But it's important.
We can't
Do
take
you
you
have any
further.
standards?
Of course. I'm a
Okay.
bit, like values. I realize like I don't have so many like nitpicks anymore, right? Because I used to have this large list.
Like her left toe can't be.
Yeah, like
her
how
second toe can't be
you know
paired.
where she's from or how she looks and all that, So now it's just like, man, I'm looking for a girl that has like solid family values.
That
you know?
doesn't care if we're legally married.
But yeah, that's gonna be maybe. But who knows? Maybe I'll change.
Solid family values, but doesn't want to make me her legal family.
So, in the voice of your mom or
Sure.
dad, when you tell them this,
What would
what would they say?
Oh my gosh, my mom literally hates on me every day.
So what's that sound like?
Give us a sample.
She said something to me today. She goes, she's like weird about personal style, right? They grew up Indian, but they grew up like very Christian Indian,
Pentecostal.
right? Pentecostal. So they're super conservative, right? So they're like, every time she looks at me, she goes, I don't like what you're wearing. Why are you wearing jewelry? So in our culture, like you don't wear jewelry, like the ponytail. She's like, all this, you look bad. You look bad. So my mom's constantly hating on me. And then I constantly feel like I have to defend myself. I'm like, Mom, I'm not this. And I'm
I'm
a
39 years old. Mom. I can do whatever I want. I'm a grown man.
yeah, we still have those arguments, and
But it sounds like that's maybe where you got that like don't give him too much vibe. Like I can't tell him he's handsome, or I can't tell him he looks like I gotta tell him that he looks bad today.
oh yeah.
So maybe that's what you're doing on the.
So it's crazy. So again, I'm very vulnerable and I'm very talkative, and I share everything. I'm an over talker, right? So what I did, so my mom and dad say that the reason why I got divorced is I told too much. Right?
You were
I-
too honest.
To his wife. To
yeah,
his wife.
Yeah. So she
You were too open.
Oh yeah, and my mom goes, Tony. She goes, Tony, you think I tell daddy everything? I don't tell daddy everything. I'm like, what the hell are my parents not telling me?
What secrets do you have?
She's like, so my dad was a merchant marine. A merchant marine, they go all around the world, and he was a mechanic, but he was on a ship, right?
You think? Wait, have y'all done 23andMe?
I know, right?
that's your
I don't know,
Now
man.
it's like,
I don't know. So my dad goes, so my mom goes, daddy was on a boat. I don't know what he did on the boat. And I was like, what the heck?
What did Daddy do on the boat?
Exactly. That's what I'm wondering. And then my mom goes, you think I tell daddy everything? I don't tell daddy everything. And then my dad just comes in. He said, Tony, you have to understand, some men, you don't need to tell everything. Some things a man needs to take to his grave.
Oh no!
Right? And he was so
What
dramatic
are the
about that.
secrets?
I know, like, and then part of me's like,
We
do
need to
I
have Dad on the
really,
podcast.
I don't think you want to know.
Do you know,
do I really want to
All right, we have
This-
we have a little segment we like to call.
Tales from the Lockbox. So this is an IT segment.
Well,
no.
not
IT
really at
tale.
all.
We can talk about it
So
all.
here I'm sitting in my office about 12 years ago, and outside my office we had some community computers, and we had a couple agents that had just got customer relationship management databases, CRMs, and they were on the phone with the help desk. And here's what I remember hearing. So one of them is from Jordan, and one of them is from Texas. Imagine the accents. And the one from Jordan is screaming, "There's no damn any key on this computer! There's no damn any key on this computer!" And screaming because he just said hit any key.
That was his accent, by the way.
Yeah, and she's looking and looking and looking, screaming. I'm rolling on the floor laughing. We call her Any Key Mary.
Oh my
Mary.
gosh.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm going to quickly level us up. No one starts on the top. You have to work your way up. That's Muhammad Ali.
That's also true in marriage.
Yeah. No one starts legally married.
Someone in marriage starts on the top.
Yes. But Tony or
Yeah.
Tone, Antonio, what are all the names you go by?
So I go by TG.
Okay.
I go by TGOG, right? Tone Loke, Tony, and Anthony, and
Bubba.
Anthony.
And some people in this room call him Bubba.
And Steven.
Yes.
We'll call him Steve. His actual name is Steve.
My actual name is Steven.
Thank you so much for coming. You were so
Yeah.
much fun. That was easy. That was fast.
It
really
was.
fast. 30 minutes. Thank you, Tom, for letting us peek into your life and have some more secrets. Apparently, your parents
Hopefully you don't have
secrets.
secrets from me.
I really think we need to get your parents on and figure out what happened on the boat. But anyway, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Yes, what happened on the boat episode. Please like, subscribe, and with that,
We out.
Bye.
Take care.
Just had a chat, talk this and that with PB and JC.